The Rock was back on SmackDown this week with a pretty badass Hollywood Rock remix. I was hoping that at WrestleMania we might hear Hollywood Rock when he walked out there, but he actually brought it back on SmackDown this week. He started with his normal theme song, and then there's a little bit of a new intro added. There's a quick switch to the Hollywood Rock theme, and I didn't hear it initially on Friday, but when I went back and watched it again, he also spliced in part of his old late 90s theme. So I thought that was pretty cool. But he came out and he did a rock concert. He was in Memphis, which used to be his home when he was first breaking into the business for many years there. He lived in Memphis. He wrestled as Flex Kavana. He talked about Flex. This year's WrestleMania, if you think about it, was supposed to be Cody Rhodes against Roman Reigns. Right? And Cody won the Royal Rumble. Then it was going to be The Rock against Roman Reigns because Cody stepped aside. And we're going to get Rock and Roman. And the fans didn't like that. And it forced a change in direction. Rock decided he was going to go tweener. He was going to go heel. And now we're back to Cody and Roman. So we are getting that match after all. But now here we are a few weeks out from WrestleMania. And The Rock is basically in a position where he has taken this entire show over on both nights. And they have made WrestleMania 40 all about The Rock. He has managed to make both main events all about himself this year. We have Rock getting back in the ring to tag with Roman on night 1 against Cody and Seth. And we have on night 2 a situation where The Rock is going to be involved. And The Rock was on television on Friday night teasing a confrontation of sorts, not with Cody, but with Mama Rhodes. We have gone from Cody and Roman to Rock and Roman, back to Cody and Roman, and now Rock against Cody's mom. It's amazing. Now, he was also out there on Friday night. He was mocking Cody, as he was in his social media promo earlier in the day, mocking Cody for crying in the ring on Monday night. Cody was sitting there doing an interview on Monday with Michael Cole, and he started getting emotional, and he started to cry when he talked about how I can't present the title to my dad, but I can present it to my mom. And The Rock absolutely just eviscerated him for this. Now, it was designed that way for Cody to go out there and cry and be emotional, so that way we have Cody crying on Raw, and it gives Rock material to go out there and throw back at him to make fun of him for it on SmackDown. I'm sure it was all laid out that way. The problem is, all that does is make Cody your number 1 contender for your top title. In your WrestleMania main event for the second straight year, it makes him look uncool by comparison. I didn't mind the emotion so much on Monday, but when I saw The Rock tearing him up on Friday, I said, boy, this is not a good look for Cody. And so now Cody Rhodes needs to show up in a big way tomorrow night. He needs to throw it right back in The Rock's face. You cannot have Cody Rhodes go out there on television last week or the week before, whatever it was. He went out there, he looked dead in the camera on Raw, and he threatened The Rock. Like he had a serious look at his eyes, and he threatened The Rock for talking shit about his dog. Right? Like bringing up Pharaoh, that's one step too far. You can't have Cody go out there and threaten The Rock for talking about his dog, and then not have him come out and get hot at The Rock for talking about his mother. So they need to let Cody take the kid gloves off tomorrow. Cody's not going to go out there and get down in the gutter like Rock does with some of his insults. That's not what Cody's character does. He's the PG hero. But that doesn't mean that he can't take some stiff shots at The Rock. He needs to take those shots at him. The closest thing that we have had so far was Seth Rollins calling The Rock Mr. Midlife Crisis, which I thought was a good jab. We need more of that. That's the only time that either one of them have really hit Rock below the belt in this feud so far. But there's an issue here. There was a report from Aaron Varbles on SEScoops.com, and it had to do with talent frustration within WWE over Rock not playing by the same rules that everybody else is supposed to play by. And this is from his report. The Rock is back in WWE and having a great time as a heel. It also seems that the rules don't apply to him. I can exclusively report that a recent memo emphasized the need for talent to follow PG guidelines on TV and social media. Despite this, The Rock's use of profanity, like in a recent promo, has raised questions among talent about double standards. They wonder why he is allowed to curse while others aren't. I'm told that Nick Khan, Paul Levesque, and Dan Ventrell, that is the EVP of talent, recently sent out a memo about talent needing to adhere to PG guidelines on TV and on social media. That being said, there seems to be an exception that is getting under some talent's skin. I was told The Rock's viral promos, where he keeps cursing, have rubbed some people the wrong way. There seems to be a feeling that we are seeing a double standard. Yeah, no shit. It seems that The Rock is able to get away with dropping every flowery profanity he wants to on social media while the rest of the roster are wearing PG handcuffs. I was additionally told that talent are asking why The Rock is getting a pass. I was told that the thinking is that even if he is the big movie star, shouldn't everyone play by the same rules? So he can curse and use that to get over, but everybody else is handcuffed. Now this morning, The Rock posted on Instagram, and he seemed to indirectly address this report without denying it. He said, networks and standards and practices have issues with my language, but I would rather be real than not. I talk from the heart, shoot from the hip, and try to always have fun. And then he linked to a clip from the Rock concert on Friday night. So here's the thing about this report. If this report is accurate, here's the thing about this, okay? First of all, it's The Rock. He is one of the biggest stars of all time. He does not play by the same rules as everybody else. It is no different than if Stone Cold Steve Austin came back and he was dropping profanity-laced tirades on people. And if I remember correctly, when Austin did come back a couple of years ago and he was out in the desert, remember that video they sent in? Because he was never on TV. But he was out in the desert somewhere, probably in Nevada where he lives. And he got outside of his car, and he cut a promo on Kevin Owens, and I think he dropped some profanity in the promo because he's Stone Cold Steve Austin. And if you bring back Stone Cold Steve Austin, I don't care if the little box in the corner says PG, the man is going to cuss. And The Rock is no different. Rock was doing the same thing with John Cena, but Cena had the leeway to give it right back to him. You know, unlike Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins, John Cena also came up in WWE at a time where he was allowed to be very non-PG. And when you look back on those segments with Rock and Cena from 2012, John Cena outclassed him. Like, Rock would give it to him, and then Cena would give it right back, and Rock would get hot about it, especially the crib notes on the wrist, which I know Cena now says he regrets, and it was unprofessional, because Rock didn't know it was coming, but you could see The Rock, he was seething over that. But week after week, Cena would give it right back to him, and it felt like more of a fair fight. This does not feel like a fair fight. If Cody and Seth are handcuffed like the rest of the roster, and I don't know if they are or not, it sure seems like they are, Rock is going out there and he's going on social media, he's tearing them apart. And so far, Cody nor Seth have had any answer for it. That has to change. If there are people on the roster upset that Rock is not playing by the same rules that they are, look, I get the frustration, but it's The Rock. And there are exceptions that are made for bigger stars. That's always been the case, whether you feel it's fair or not. They're fortunate that they have The Rock back, and The Rock is back on television. He hasn't been on television this much in years. They're not going to tell The Rock, oh, you can't do this and you can't do that. You know, other than, hey, you can't drop an F-bomb on TV. They pretty much let him go out there and do what he wants. And here's the other thing. The Rock is on the board of directors now. I mean, he may not be their boss. That might just be the storyline. But he is on the board of directors. You know, he's got his own writer in there with him. He's got Brian Gewirtz back with him. He doesn't have to play by the same rules. He operates in his own world. But the people that Rock is working with right now, they should at least be able to operate under those same rules. Maybe he doesn't want that. Maybe it's an ego thing. Maybe he still remembers the Cena feud. I don't know. But Cody, at least, more than Seth. Seth is just an add-on here. Seth is a clinger. He's not the one feuding with The Rock. Cody is. You know who else, by the way, feels like an add-on here and a clinger in all this? Roman Reigns. He and Seth have something in common, like they're just along for the ride. But Cody is the man challenging for the title in the main event of Night 2. This is his story, and he is in jeopardy of being upstaged in his own story if he does not go out there and show people why they should view him as being one of Rock's equals. And I'm not even saying that he is Rock's equal. Not on the mic, he's not. Very few people are. It's all about perception. he needs to try to at least pretend that he is on the same level. The gloves need to come off. Throw Black Adam in his face. Something, anything. Or is Rock's ego such that he won't allow for that to happen?